Hey guys, first regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about the new heroic chainsword in Space Marine 2 patch 13 with the White Scars chainsword option. Now, I did make a guide for this a few days ago, but I wanted to go over some of the mistakes from this one because I have learned some new information and just kind of like, brush up on some of the new stuff we have here and like what combos function on this weapon and what the optimal perk setups actually are. So, the new heroic chainsword is a 12 strength, 8 speed, 4 cleaving potential block type weapon. This is a very powerful weapon in Space Marine 2, one of the best weapons in the entire game in my opinion, and definitely the best of all the chainsword options because you pretty much reach a relic tier block weapon status and damage on top of having an 8 speed for way more utility, and because of that you have a ton of ways to set this up and a ton of potential combos to one-shot Extremis off of and stuff like that. Now previously I said that you require the Extremis Slayer perk down here to one combo the Extremis on a tactical class or a vanguard. That is not actually the case. In fact, you don't even need the combo skip to one-shot them on it because this weapon is just that damaging. The only thing you need the combo skip for is to actually reach your stomp and actually still have your adrenaline surge charges active on the second adrenaline surge charge, because I want to talk about the heroic perk effect here, which is Fury of Chigoris. Your adrenaline surge stacks are increased to 3. The third stack is a higher damage bonus, but the bonus for the second stack is reduced. So the way this weapon works is that a normal block weapon will give you 2 adrenaline surge charges. So the first one will give you a 30% melee damage increase on your next attack for 2.2 seconds, and the second one will give you a 90% damage increase for 2.2 seconds instead, and an explosion recovers your armor. On the White Scars Chainsword, though, the first stack will give you a 30% damage buff with a lingering effect of 2.2 seconds, the third will give you a 70% damage buff with a lingering effect of 2.2 seconds, and the third will give you a 150% damage buff with a lingering effect of 4 seconds instead of 2.2. So the actual damage calculation here comes out to be like 1.52 times your normal damage, and because of that lingering 4-second effect, you can actually go from a light into a stomp and still have the adrenaline surge damage buff here active without a full throttle combo skip. But if you want to reach your stomp and have your adrenaline surge buff active on the normal ones, like up to 2 charges, you will require the combo skip because otherwise it is too slow to come out. That being said, this weapon does a ridiculous amount of damage because of that. I do think it is currently the best chainsword in the game because the 8 speed here alone, that gives you a ton of utility on your weapon, and because of that, you're able to do things like just be able to bash enemies you normally could not, stomp enemies you normally could not, get HP back from swift recovery you otherwise would be unable to, and because the staggering effect of block weapons last for that like lingering effect duration as well, all you have to do against like a Hellbrute is just smack them with a light combo and you will just be able to still stagger them over and over and over. And having a 4-second duration on that third stack on a Hellbrute means you can pretty much just catch them into like a full combo and chain stun them for all 4 seconds. So a really powerful option to like damage stack for yourself and your teammates. Now I am going to show you a couple combos to one-shot Extremis here. Now you do not need the perk down here, Extremis Slayer, like I mentioned before, to do this. All you need is Majora Slayer or like really any setup like this with Perpetual Strength. You don't even need like the combo skips. We're gonna go into the battle simulator here and show that now. All right, so here in the battle simulator, all we have to do to one combo this guy is off of that light, heavy, light, heavy, and he's dead. And that is without Heightened Vigor, that is without Extremis Slayer. That is the best combo for just one-shotting these Ravener guys, at least for like Tactical and Vanguard. But I will say, there is a reason to use the combo skip, which would be like this, into like a light, heavy. This doesn't actually kill them on the Extremis here, unless you have things like Heightened Vigor, like Battle Focus on top of that. But the big thing here is that the combo skip will allow you to do combos against Hellbrutes and some like the larger hordes you otherwise could not. And I'll also be showing that here in a second, starting now. So the optimal combo against a Hellbrute here would be you get all 3 stacks up, and then after that you go into a combo skip, bash, light, stomp, and you will catch them because of that 4-second duration at the end of your stomp with the adrenaline surge still active, so we'll stagger him. And because of that, I'll show it again here, we can actually do a further combo to him that you would usually be unable to, well, at least not without doing some other shenanigans. All right, so 1, 2, 3, stomp, and then we just do bash, and we've just done a lot of free damage to that guy, and that was without Heightened Vigor. Keep that in mind. That was like over 600 damage, so That is quite high in this game. So hopefully that showcases the use case scenario of the combo skip, and I will show a full combo skip guide here in a little bit for the full throttle skip, but as far as like chainsword setups go, you really have a lot of options on this weapon. You can go full Extremis damage down here for Extremis Slayer. You can just pick up Majora Slayer and you will still hit that breakpoint on hard strats and absolute. Now, the combo skip or the proper combo for the light heavy into the light heavy on the Extremis, that will one combo them on both absolute difficulty and hard strats. It's just that things like the Missile Terminator, things like the Lictor, they are a bit harder to get a full combo on because Lictors are just really awkward too because they move around a ton, and like even if you catch them half the time, it won't give you the proper damage amount. So for that reason, it is a bit obnoxious for them, and Missile Terminators just don't give you 3 stacks very often. But like melee Terminators and the Raveners, as you saw in the actual like the gameplay portion, they will allow you to just one combo them off of like this perk and this perk down here as well. Now I will say, if you want to go all the way down the bottom tree for like momentum gain, you do get a little bit more damage on that light heavy attack, and that does help out a bit. I have heard some people say this one works on heavy attacks as well, even though it says it does not. That is not confirmed to me. If it is, I will put it in the pin comment, but for now that is pretty much the optimal setup in my opinion. And you can even go into like a double stomp for trampling stride here, and to be honest, if you want to skip over like some perks and just go up here straight instead of taking like the bottom 3 here and go for like armored strength into the perk here crushing heal, skip perpetual strength, and pick up trampling stride, you can do that. That is definitely an option, and honestly the double stomp here might actually be better than the double stomp on the double edge relic, which is pretty funny, but like that is just how strong the heroic chainsword is currently. Now this brings me to the next portion of this guide, which is the full throttle combo skip. Now this will allow you to do a combo skip, which means you skip over one attack in your combo chain. So for example, instead of a light heavy into a bash, you're doing a light immediately into a bash, or a light into a stomp and things like that. So really worth picking up pretty much every time for every chainsword in the game, except for the double edge relic tier here, because the heroic fistfight perk effect already gives you a combo skip on this one, so it is a redundant effect to take the full throttle perk here for that. I will show how to do this in game in a second, but the big thing here is this is worth taking because it opens up a ton of opportunities. It allows you to have your adrenaline surge charges active on that 3 stack here with Fury Trigoris on a trampling stride double stomp, or you're able to skip to a stomp before you run out on the first 2 charges because those only last 2.2 seconds. So really good for utility, and also just really good for damage in general in a lot of cases, because the bash is very strong to actually combo into other things, because usually you're unable to combo off of a kick or a punch and stuff like that as easily, and swift recovery benefits from this a lot as well. So I'll be showing that in game now. Alright, so here we are in game to talk about the combo skip. Now all you have to do to perform the combo skip is use the full throttle attack or take the full throttle perk. That is simply this charge attack. Now this charge attack sucks ass. This thing is garbage. However, what is not garbage is the combo skip. So all you have to do to perform this is use the normal charge up heavy attack that you would use for that thing and hold it down briefly instead of like holding it down all the way. So for example, like that, you will get this little swipe instead. This swipe counts as 2 light attacks. So for example, you can do 1, oh excuse me, I fucked it up there, but 1 bash and then 1, 2 stomp. And that's just a free combo skip, and that'll allow you to actually use your adrenaline surge charges off of like the first and second charge on the White Scar's Chainsword and actually reach a stomp in time, because normally if you're in like 1, 2, 3 stomp, that will run out before your like 2.2 second stacks. It will still function on the 3rd charge, because the 3rd charge of Adrenaline Surge on the block weapons here will work for 4 seconds on the White Scar's Chainsword. And also, if you are using the 4-second charge, that allows you to get the double stomp out on Trampling Stride with the combo skip here. So it is very useful for like utility reasons, also just getting you back a bunch of HP, and also very powerful on other chainswords, because what this allows you to do is basically every time you get a perfect parry on an enemy in this game, they have a 50% damage taken debuff applied to them, and being able to combo skip like this will allow you to do the highest damaging attack you have pretty much before they're actually out of that debuff state. So really strong here, and the White Scarf Chainsword is only extremely stronger at times with like light heavy combos because it is that fast, but there are still reasons to take the combo skip here because those will simply allow you to get to stomps you would otherwise be unable to with the Adrenaline Surge active, and get like full combos off on things like the Hellbrute like I showed before. So hopefully that explains the combo skip, and that's pretty much all there is to say about this one. And that should cover pretty much everything you would need to know about the White Scars Chainsword for practical gameplay. Now, I will say, keep in mind, this was on the tactical class we were testing this on. This was without Heightened Vigor or Battle Focus. The damage can get significantly higher on this weapon on classes that have a much higher damage potential like Bulwark and Assault. And I would also say, when it comes to using this weapon, you always want some no knockback perk effect, because no knockback, especially on things like a melee Terminator, that will prevent you from getting stun locked over and over or knocked out of your Chainsword combo. So for that reason, Heightened Vigor is pretty much a must-have in my opinion, but the reason I took this off was to showcase that you can one-shot an Extremis without that, and this weapon really is that strong. If you want an easier time against Extremis, you can also take the Extremis perk down here, and that's pretty much all there is for this one. And if you are someone who made it all the way through this guide and you're like, I have no idea how block weapons work, I do have a full guide on that on this channel as well, and hopefully that will help you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, thank you for watching, take it easy, bye.